I'm so excited to be here. I'm honored that you guys are having me be able to be here and share my tips with everyone. I'm so excited. My name is Eileen Sandova, like Joe just said. I've been working as a makeup artist for a little over 10 years now. And I started doing some photo shoots, building my portfolio. I was able to work with some amazing people, some friends, and I started working, a lot of you guys might know that I work with Brie and Nikki Bella, the Bella twins. I was working on Total Divas, now Total Bellas, and I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of amazing celebrities, artists, and just beautiful people, brides, and all of that. So I have experience with a little bit of everything, and I'm excited to share some tips. Please feel free to ask questions. We'll try to get all of those answered a little bit later. And is it time to start, Joe? Should I just go ahead and start? Okay, awesome. So first, this is always so awkward at first because it's like I can't hear any. I'm used to getting feedback from people, so I feel like I'm talking to myself right now. But I know that you guys are there. And so with any makeup application, we always start with skincare. So I already cleansed my skin and I did my makeup routine, but usually my skincare routine. So usually when I'm gonna start on a client, a lot of the time they have their own skincare on and that's okay, but I still like to apply products before I begin just to make sure. Sometimes I'll remove product if I need to and if I trust my own products better. So you'll apply whatever skincare works for your skin type. So if you have oily skin, you wanna be cautious about the moisturizer you're using. You wanna use a oil control moisturizer, and also they have serums and primers that will control oil or also that are hydrating if that's what you need. I have dry skin typically. Right now I'm going to use the Lawless Hydrating Priming Serum. And I'm just going to pat that onto my skin. And I get really red, as you can see. I have a lot of redness in my skin. So that's something that I'm always cautious about and have to cover up, and I'll show you how to do that. Usually rubbing will cause a lot more redness, so if you're the same, try to just be really cautious. We shouldn't be rubbing our skincare in any way. We should be tapping it in. I'm gonna apply some eye cream, and this one's from Beauty RX. This is also in the kit that you'll get if you apply for the Blushington Academy. You get an amazing kit with lots of products. The serum is in there, moisturizer. A lot of what I'm using will be in the kit or available at blushington.com. So I like to do that. Gotta pamper your skin. There's also this Beauty Smoothing Cream, Beauty RX Smoothing Cream. I'm gonna shake it up a little bit and apply a tiny bit of that as well. And I like to scoop things out usually. If it doesn't pump out, I like to scoop it out. Even on my own stuff, I don't like to stick my fingers in everything. Oh no, I can't find my spatula. Here it is. I'm just gonna take a little bit out. I hope you guys are getting ready with me. Everything. Got to keep the hair. I'm not going to tie it back because then I'll feel extra not cute. Okay. So once your skincare is in, you can let that settle in, and you can always apply a primer. I'm going to kind of wait and let my skin soak in the product. I like for dewy skin, hydrated skin, healthy, skincare is pretty much going to be the base to a good makeup application. So don't skip it and make sure you use products that are appropriate for your skin type. Because a lot of people ask me, why is my makeup melting off, or it's pilling, or whatever the case is. It might be because you're not using the right moisturizer for your skin type, or also you have to be aware of like water-based and oil-based products. They can kind of clash, so be aware of that too. And if you have questions about that, I have a little blog post on my website you can check out. Right now I'm going to give myself a little bit of glow, so I'm using the Becca Primer. So sad that they're discontinuing the line because they have such amazing products. So if you weren't aware of that, you might want to jump on and buy whatever you can right now because these products aren't going to be available for much longer. So I usually like to put it on top of my cheekbones, down the bridge of my nose, just kind of like around. So that gives you a little extra glow, and I may apply some more later. But if you don't like to wear a lot of makeup and if you don't like foundation, you can basically do what I've done so far and then just spot conceal wherever you need to and move on. But today we're not doing that. I'm gonna kind of glam it up and go a little bit more full coverage. But I usually start my makeup with brows and eyes. So I'm gonna start with my brows, and got my hands because they're oily from the products. I usually like to use a powder and a pencil. So this is a brow wiz from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I also have the powder. So I kind of alternate between both. And I'm gonna just kind of comb the brows into place. Brows are one of my favorite things to do. Like, they really frame the face. And as you can see, my brows are not shaped nicely. They're horribly plucked. So I've got to really pay attention and fill them in. So how I do brows is I usually start where there's no hair. So I like to, oh my gosh, I love to see you guys getting ready with me. That's so cute. Ah, I'm so excited. Okay, so I'm going to start here because this is where I want to recreate hair growth. So I'm going to begin to kind of apply my pencil there first. You don't want to start applying where the hair already is. I see a lot of people make that mistake. They start here. It's like you already have hair there. You don't want to make them darker. So start where there isn't any hair. Fill it in. And the key usually with brows, a guide you can follow is they should start, if you hold the pencil to the side of your nose, they should start there. And if you're looking straight ahead, they should arch at the outer part of your iris, and then end, mine are a little bit short, so you can elongate them a little bit, but where the corner of your eye is, if you have a pencil, and go there. So I just need to extend mine just a little bit more. So I like to fill in a little bit here. And then continue out here. Wow, this pencil's really good. I usually use powders and a little brush, but this is working well for me right now. And then kind of just brush it up. So see how I've already elongated my brow and it's framing my face a lot better. And you're doing light little strokes. So the further out you hold the pencil, the lighter the stroke's gonna be. So if you have a heavy hand, just maybe hold the pencil a little bit further out and draw in there. This is the shape that I like my brows. I like to make them a little bit fuller and a little bit more just to frame my face. This is probably what they look like before I plucked them all out in the 90s. Do the same to the other side. And I'll try to move quickly, but just light strokes and fill in. So if you have really oily skin and you find that the product isn't sticking, it might be helpful to apply a little bit of concealer or foundation over the area that you're gonna apply product, and then maybe powder it a little bit. That way the product can stick. I don't have that problem, but I know I've seen that with certain clients where the product just is not sticking to their skin, and you might be experiencing that. Try applying a little bit of foundation or concealer, and that'll be a game changer. Okay, so I'm gonna just apply a little bit of powder, and I'm gonna use this angled brush by Bdellium Tools. This is, I don't think they're numbered. Oh yeah, 762, it's just a little angled brush. And I'm gonna go into a little bit of both colors and tap in to those areas. And you wanna just fill in lightly. I like to turn the brush on its side and then feather product in. I don't wanna make them too dark, and I'm using the lighter color. And you can extend the brow if you need to, but always make sure to go out. You don't want to bring them down, or in. Just imagine if it were to meet like out here. So you want to always bring the brow out and lift the face. Okay. The next step I like to do is apply a little bit of concealer to the bottom to highlight or clean them up. So I'm going to try this BB crayon. Just going to highlight underneath. And then I'm going to use a brush to really just clean it up and define it. And this helps clean up the brow and make it look a little bit more defined and clean. Just a concealer is great for that. I'm going to do the other brow. I don't like to go all the way around the brow because then it looks a little too obvious, but this is a great way to clean them up. If you haven't groomed your brows, this is a great way to cheat it and help, it makes the brows look really groomed and pretty. So I feel like I can also use the brush as an eraser if there's too much product that I want to remove. I'm not applying concealer, I'm just cleaning them up. Okay, so I could continue to perfect them, but to save time, I'm not going to because we have a lot of things to go through, and I tend to talk a lot when I'm doing makeup because I really want you guys to learn and learn something from here. Okay, so the next step is to apply eyeshadow. So I have some of these little Stila pigments, which are so pretty. You can use these as a base on your lower lid and it'll be really sparkly, or you can just use an eye primer. Oh, sorry, I skipped a step. I wanted to also, I just saw my brow gel. My final step to brows is to seal them in with a little bit of brow gel. So this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Gel. And it kind of just combs the brows into place and keeps them there. And I'll probably go over them again later if I need to. Okay, so now I'm gonna apply some eye primer, and this is also an Anastasia primer. I'm gonna use the same brush, which is a 936, great concealer brush. And I'm gonna apply that to the brush and just apply that all over the lid. That's a lot, so I'm gonna do the other eye. And you can use your finger to blend it out too if it's too much product. Okay, so now I've got my eye primer on, and I'm going to take this Anastasia Soft Glam palette. Great palette, really pretty colors in here. And I always like to use a taupe or neutral orangey brown type of color. I'm gonna use burnt orange and a little bit of orange soda and apply that to the crease. I'm gonna start with the burnt orange. And I like to tap excess product off of my brush and then apply. Before doing this part, you can also apply a little bit of a highlight color to the brow bone if you'd like. So you can take the brush. This one is 777. And I'm gonna go into Tempera, which is like a kind of light color. This one right here. And you can basically set the concealer with it. So the look we're going for today is a little bit glam, summer, if you're gonna go on a date, if you're gonna go to a summer party, a holiday, or a wedding, just any event. We're all like finally excited to get out, right? So we're gonna glam it up just a little bit more than natural. So I'm just going back and forth with this blending brush and I'm building up the color and I'm just moving it really softly. So as you can see, I'm holding the brush at the very bottom, not too close here, just so I can get a softer application. I'm just blending it, and you can bring it out here too, depending on your eye shape. Do the same to the other side. And so far, I'm just using burnt orange. And I'm layering and building. So I'm really getting it onto the crease and I'm blending it out. And I'm also getting it to my lower eyelid because I'm just gonna build this color and it's gonna be a little bit of a smoky eye, but not a dark smoky eye, just a glam type of smoky eye. So you can build the color up as dark as you want, still going in with the same color, blending back and forth. Think of a windshield wiper movement. And you can also apply that same color to the lower lash line. Just look up, sorry. And then just apply it to the bottom. It's hard to, sorry if I'm covering the screen. I'll turn to the side and see if that's helpful. Okay. Don't worry about all this fallout. We're gonna clean that up in a bit. I like to work fast, so I'm not gonna be a perfectionist about what I'm doing right now. We're just gonna get it done because you don't have a lot of time to get ready, right? Okay, so now I'm gonna make it a little bit darker and I'm kind of thinking all of these colors right here are colors I typically like to use and build up a smoky eye with. So I'm gonna go into Sienna and eventually I'm gonna put the darker colors in there. Wow, it'll look crazy. Okay, so just putting a little bit on the tip of the brush and now I'm just gonna tap that into the outer corner. So we're just building the color, giving the eye some dimension. You can go further out if you want to elongate your eye. I kind of just like to keep it right here at the very corner of my eye and build it in. Those colors look so pretty. Hopefully everyone is on the same step and moving along here. Hopefully we're all looking alike. Okay. So I'm just tapping more product in, applying, tapping. And you have to make sure to tap off excess product whenever you pick up product. This palette is very pigmented, so you want to tap off excess and just pat it in and build up your color. You can take a smaller brush. I'm gonna use, what is this one? 780. And I'm gonna go into that same color, Sienna, and just run that on the lower lash line. To the other side. This might feel like a lot for some of you, but I promise it'll turn out pretty. Just have to blend and then clean it up. And once the final look is all put together, it's gonna look great. Okay, now I'm getting into Cypress Umber, which is the darker brown. And I'm just gonna apply that to the outer corner. And run that in. Then I'm gonna take that first brush and just pat it in. Got to make sure to work on both eyes at the same time. Whenever you pick up one product and apply it to one eye, make sure you do that to the other eye as well, so you don't forget what you did and so the eyes look the same. Okay, the next step I'm gonna do is take, this is Espresso, it's a Stila smudge waterproof liner. It's a smudge stick, I love these. My favorite color is Lionfish, but I'm gonna take Espresso right now, and I'm just gonna line my top eye. And it doesn't have to be perfect because I'm gonna smudge it. You can skip this step if you want, but I want a little bit more color and dimension, so it's kind of hard. If you're holding a mirror and you want to try to, uh-oh, it's not coming out. There we go. So the trick is if you kind of like hold the mirror down here and then look up, kind of stretch your eye, then you don't have to tug on your eyelid and stretch it out, which over time will cause wrinkles. We don't want that. Okay, so it's not a perfect eyeliner, and that's okay because I'm going to smudge it out. So I'm going to take my little brush and then just blend it. And you have to probably move, uh-oh, I just realized this is the waterproof one. So it sets quickly. That's not good. Okay, do one eye at a time. Wow, that is not blending. It's okay. We'll fix this. I'm gonna just apply a little bit more. Lionfish blends a little bit easier, so I'm used to using that one. And that's not what I'm using right now. So hopefully you guys didn't do this because I know this is gonna be a pain in the butt to blend. That's okay. I can fix anything. This doesn't scare me. Okay, so I'm gonna attempt to just blend it a little bit more. I'm gonna take some eyeshadow, layer it on top. And layer a little bit more product on here. Also, this liner is mainly just for color because I'm gonna add the pigmented bronzy color on top of here. So, and then possibly finish off with a gel liner. So I know this looks crazy right now, but just trust me. Then I like to take the brush and kind of blend anything, make sure there aren't any harsh lines. Hopefully I'm not giving anyone anxiety because of how quickly I'm moving and just not being super perfectionist with it. You don't have to be a perfectionist. It's okay. Okay. So now I'm going to take the 777 brush and I'm going to go into the color Sultry, which is this bronzy color right here. How's everyone's makeup coming out? And I'm going to tap the product into my lower eyelid. So see how like bronzy and pretty that is? It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell on the camera, I think, but when the light hits it, it's gorgeous. Okay. Do the other eye. Perfect. Yeah. Blend anything. If you see anything, just blend it. Take your brush and just blend it. It can be a clean brush. Okay, then I'm going to take a makeup wipe. So you'll get these in your kit. And I'm just gonna clean a little bit of the excess product on the bottom. And be careful when you clean. You want to just kind of go to the corner of your eye and just, if you want to give it like a winged out effect, you can do that. Just be careful not to go too high so you don't cut off your eyeshadow before your eyebrow. It shouldn't be shorter than your brow line. So kind of just out. I don't like a harsh line, so I'm gonna blend that out. But okay, we're here. The next thing I like to do is line my waterline. So I'm gonna take a gel liner. I have the Stila smudge pot. I'm gonna scoop a little bit out onto my palette. Just wait till we get to highlighting and contouring, guys. It's a fun part that everybody likes to learn and do. Okay, so I'm just gonna take a little bit of the product onto my liner brush. This is a 710, and I like to really just work the product into the brush. And I'm gonna line the inside of my lower lash line at the top to make my lash line look fuller. This is like my favorite thing. I personally never skip this step. And I also like to line the lower. Personally, I feel like my eyes are just so big, so I like to make them look a little bit more, I guess, sultry. I don't know. I just don't like them to look so wide open, so I always have to have my waterline filled in. Also, if you have a lot of redness or pink in your lash line, you can use a flesh toned eyeliner to fill that in if you prefer not to use black or brown. That'll get rid of any of the redness. Okay, so I sometimes can get away with not using a makeup wipe when I'm not working super fast. And so now I need to reapply my eye cream because I took it off when I wiped it off. So the next thing I can do is mascara and lashes, but I really want to move on to some foundation because I really need to just move it along here. Okay, so I'm gonna take a couple of shades here, and I'm a little bit more tan than usual right now, so I usually like to hold them up, and I know it's hard to tell on screen what color. That looks too dark. This one. So this is the 24-hour Ultimate Coverage Foundation. And I'm just gonna pump a little bit onto the back of my hand. translates different on the computer, so I know here that it'll work. So I'm going to use my Beauty Blender and begin to kind of just apply the product. It's a good idea to apply your foundation, or if you're applying on a client, to usually start here so you can see if the color works. And for me, I know that even if the color doesn't work perfect, I could make it work with highlighting and contouring. So I tell my clients this all the time too, because our skin tone changes a lot, especially in the summer. Sometimes you have to have like 2 different foundations for winter, for summer, and if you're tanning. So find the closest color, and if it doesn't match perfect, if you know how to highlight and contour, you can always adjust the makeup with that. It's a big, helpful trick. So I'm kind of just applying it a little bit everywhere. And I like to use a brush for this too, but I really like that a Beauty Blender presses it in. On clients, I typically use brushes and only use Beauty Blenders if I have one that I could give them afterward. One that they'll like take home, because you should only use a Beauty Blender once on one client. Okay, now I'm gonna highlight and contour because I can't live without highlighting and contouring. I don't know about you. So if you've never highlighted and contoured, don't be afraid. I know a lot of people are afraid of it, and you shouldn't be. So you can use, I use cream foundations. This is a Kevyn Aucoin. It's a little bit thick and heavy. A little bit goes a long way. So I'm going to use just a tiny amount of this one. I'm going to put this on my palette. This will bring warmth and dimension to the face. So I'm going to take a 775 brush, it looks like this, and take a little bit of the product. And I like to start on the forehead, kind of just do a little bit of that. And then your contour, I like to pull my hair back here, and it's basically where your ear kind of starts here, and then just bring it a little bit in. And contouring will depend, it will vary based on your face shape, how you want to contour your face, but it's really not that difficult. If you have a small forehead, then you don't want to apply too much contour on the top. You want to mainly highlight that area. But otherwise, everything else will kind of go about the same. You can, there's a lot that goes into highlighting and contouring. You can reshape your face with it if you really want to get technical. But basically, I'm applying a little bit underneath here. I'm contouring my cheekbones, just under my cheekbones. I love to do the side of my nose, make it look smaller because I have a chubby nose. So just make sure it's really straight. Try to look here, so the lines should be like really just parallel, straight. Otherwise, you don't want to make your nose look crooked, so be careful with that. I like to bring it up here into my brow bone. Blending brushes. I'll choose a different one right now. Oh, and the other thing I like to do sometimes is contour my lips a little. So I add a little bit down here just to make my bottom lip look fuller. And a little bit up here. Can't see much there. I used hardly anything, but it's just giving it the slightest bit of dimension. Then you'll want to blend everything. So I'm going to take a blending brush. This is a 959 brush. And back. And you can kind of tap and blend it into the skin. You want to make sure that you keep the product in the right place. So don't move it around and move your lines around. You want to like keep it there, but just make sure that it blends. Do the same to the forehead, and I usually brush this back toward the hairline. And as you can see, I'm pressing the product in with the brush. Your contour shade should be 2 shades darker than your skin tone usually. Sometimes I go a little bit darker, but the one I'm using right now is SX12, if that's helpful for anyone, if anyone wants to know the color I'm using. Oh, I just realized, oops, how come I can't see my chat? Sorry, Joe, I don't know if you said anything to me, but probably not. Just noticed a bunch of the messages coming through, but we'll get to those afterwards. Sorry, everyone. Okay, I have 15 minutes to finish. Let's go on fast forward mode. Okay, so just contour. Now I'm gonna highlight. So I'm gonna choose a color a couple shades lighter. This is SX06. Now, like I said, these are really heavy. Actually, probably gonna just use, if you don't wanna use these, by the way, this will last you forever. So makeup artists, these are great. If you're doing just your own face, it'll last you so long because a little bit goes a long way. But it's amazing coverage. So this is the Ultimate Coverage Longwear Concealer from Becca. And I'm just gonna, so we can move quickly here, do this. Just wanna brighten up this area. I'll do a little bit here. And blend it with the, so I'm gonna use a blending brush to blend my nose. And the rest I will use a sponge. God, I wish I could see all of you working on yourselves. So I'm just pressing the sponge in. As you can see, I already have some dimension. And I know that I still need a blend in here. So this might be a little bit more full coverage than some of you are comfortable with. As I said before, you can opt for a lighter foundation, a not so full coverage concealer. But if you do this, your makeup will last all day, all night. It'll be the end of the night and your makeup's gonna look fabulous and you're not gonna wanna wash your face. Okay. So once you have everything blended, pressed in, then you'll set it with some translucent powder. So I have here the RMS translucent. This one's really finely milled, and I also have the Kevin Aquan, which I like this one for all over the skin. So I'm gonna put a little bit out onto a paper towel to pick up from. Now I'm gonna pick it up on my beauty blender and just press it into my skin, very lightly under the eyes. And go around the skin. Once you set it, it just starts to all kind of come together. I'm not someone who really bakes, but if you really want your foundation to stick and stay, really set it. And then you can always mist your skin with a setting spray, and it'll bring hydration back into the skin and make your makeup last longer. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back in. I see like my brows need a little bit of help. So I'm just gonna brush them up. Inside. At this point, once your face is about done, you can go in and fix anything you need to fix. I'm gonna apply some mascara. I'm all over the place right now. Don't worry, I will get to, I know there's no perfect way to do makeup. I'm getting hot because I found out that I have 10 minutes or less probably, so I'm trying to rush it here for you guys. Okay, so let's do some mascara. So I'm using the Eyeshadow. I love this mascara. This is great for pros too because you can squeeze the product out if you need to and use your spoolie to apply it, or you can use a fan if you prefer. Some makeup artists like to use fans to apply mascara, but I love the brush on here. So the key is to look down and then kind of just wiggle it in. My lashes are the tiniest lashes on the planet, so I really have to pack mascara on and then lashes, so I don't know if anybody feels me on that. Now I'm seeing a harsh line right here and that really bothers me, but I'm going to blend that. Is anyone else doing makeup with me right now, and how is it coming out? Am I giving you guys good tips? Is this helpful? Let me know. So I'm gonna go in and brushing off any product off of my brush because I'm gonna blend, just wiping it on a towel. And I wanna get rid of this line because I personally don't like that. If you do, you can leave it, but I don't. So if you use a clean brush, you can get rid of any harsh lines. And my brush wasn't totally clean, so I kind of made a mess, but it's okay. The great thing about makeup is that it's makeup and you can fix it. You can erase it, you can always fix it. So don't be afraid of messing up. It's just makeup, it'll clean off. All right, we're making some progress here, right, Joe? Okay, so now I'm gonna take some bronzer, and this is a beautiful palette. This is from Jouer. I always want to say Jouer, like the clothing brand, but it's Jouer. And I'm using Sunlight and Suntan. I'm gonna use both of them. Just tap off any excess product and go in here. Make sure that your face is really set before you go in with bronzer. Take the powder brush, actually. It's a little bit bigger and it might be hard for some of you to work with this, but I think I'll work quicker with it. And I'm just kind of keeping the bronzer in the same area I applied my contour and patting it in. I'm gonna go into the darker shade now. And I love this bronzer because it's matte, there's no shimmer in it. And it's also not super red. So sometimes like the really red bronzers looks so obvious. This looks very natural and pretty. I'm gonna apply a little bit to the forehead. A little bit down here. And we're getting closer to my favorite part, highlight. Okay. So now I'm gonna take the Becca Champagne Pop highlighter. This stuff has been some of my favorite forever, and I can't believe, look you guys, I have a brand new one that I've been saving for a while, and I had to bring it out because I think that they're still available on the Blushington site, and you guys better get it before they sell out, because this is like one of the top selling highlighters. It's so beautiful. Just watch. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. This is just gonna have you glow. Amazing. Look at that. Highlight? No highlight. Did any of you go blind? I'm kidding. Okay, so pretty. So I just like to apply this to the top of the cheekbones. I have a scar here, so I try not to get highlighter there because otherwise it shows, but what can you do? All right, and then I'm gonna take my finger and I'm gonna apply a little bit down the bridge of my nose, a little bit on the Cupid's bow. That's it. Now I'm gonna do blush, and for blush, thought it'd be fun to try this Stila Magnificence Hue highlighter. It's a little bit of a highlighter, but I just kind of am thinking we're gonna glow. We're just gonna glow all out, guys. So let's do it. I'm gonna take a little bit of that onto the brush that I used to blend my foundation, and I'm just gonna stipple it on. I think it's really pretty. If you have textured skin, you might not want to apply something super highlighty over those areas because it'll really pick up. So maybe just be careful where you apply it, but it doesn't mean that you can't wear highlighter. Just be cautious of where you apply. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with this lovely lipstick. It's a Blushington lipstick. It's a pretty nude color. And I'm just gonna put this on as a base, and I'm gonna top it with Kevyn Aucoin's Glass Glow Lip Gloss. This stuff is amazing. So if we're glowing, like I said, we're glowing all out. So I'm gonna take a brush to apply this. It's very kind of like sticky and glossy, but it's so pretty. So I'm going to take the 936 brush and this is so pretty. I use this a lot for like red carpet events. This is a little bit pale because of the lipstick I put underneath, so you might want to use it on its own, or depending on if you want it a little bit darker, which I feel like it's kind of washing me out a little bit, so I need a little bit of a lip liner. How much time do we have? We're good? Okay, so I'm almost done, guys. Okay. What do I need? I need lashes. Let's do lashes really quick before I finish the look. Okay, so I have some kind of natural lashes here. These are from Ardell, which are also available at Blushington. I like to pull them off with a pair of tweezers carefully. And you have to just be a little bit patient when it comes to applying lashes. Now, one trick you can do with this pair of strip lashes, so that is the one thing I hate about strip lashes is when they're too thick or uncomfortable and they start to lift at the corners. So what you can do is you can cut it into 3 pieces and apply them individually, and then you'll have you'll be less likely to lose or have your lash start lifting. So I'm going to apply a little bit of Duo glue, and I'm using the dark Duo, the black one. And I'm going to cut this into 3 pieces. Now, this is a very natural lash. It's probably going to barely be noticeable on me, but I kind of just want to keep it simple right now with the lashes. So I picked up the outer corner, and I'm going to apply a little bit of glue on it. I don't know if you can see, but you want to just be very light, especially Duo glue. I know a lot of people make a big mess with it and they get frustrated, but you just have to apply the tiniest amount and let it get tacky. You can fan it out. And I'm going to apply the outer corner first. So I'm going to tilt my head so I can look at the mirror, grab the lash with a pair of tweezers, and make sure that your tweezers are clean. Mine has a little bit of, I don't know what on it. So there we go. So see how easy that just went on? I'm going to grab the middle piece, a little bit of glue, trust me, the key is just to fan it out and let it get a little bit tacky. People get really impatient, put a bunch of glue on it, try to put it on, it's gonna move around, it's gonna make a mess, and you're gonna wanna just throw the towel in and not go out, so don't do that. All right, so imagine it's a little tacky there. And like I said, kind of tilt the head so you can see, and I'm grabbing just the tip with tweezers. It's very helpful. It's hard. I can't do it with my fingers. I have big fingers. For some reason, I can't do it. I need tweezers. So, and then I'm going to turn it kind of up, like down facing, like so the strip is pointing downward. There. Easy. Now I have the inner corner and do the same thing. I really hope that anyone who has been struggling with the lashes is doing this right now and having so much success. You can also blow on it if it's your own lash, but don't blow on it if you're applying it on someone else. And now I'm going to turn this way, point the lash down. Boom. See how easy that was? Okay. So now that I did that, I'm going to try to go fast forward mode and do the other eye. Also, if there's like a bunch of glue on it, you want to take that glue off because that can get annoying to work with. Take that glue off and use your own glue. And I just have little tiny scissors like this to cut them. Also, make sure that you keep the lash in the order that you cut it so you don't put the wrong part, the outer part on the inner part. All right, guys, I'm basically almost done. I don't know if maybe we want to start opening the floor for questions, but this has been so much fun for me, just knowing that a lot of you really appreciate a lesson like this, because I have a lot of friends who need help, who always, you know, ask me to do makeup, you know, makeup class. And so this is so fun. I love to teach. I love to help. If you guys ever need help, you can feel free to reach out to me about anything. I love giving makeup tips. I love teaching and making your life easier any way possible. So And the great thing also is that Blushington provided this platform for all of us. This is a free class. How amazing is that? They have such a great program. They're, excuse me, the Blushington Academy. You get an amazing kit with pretty much most of the products that I used here today. And we have a special code today for anyone who's interested in advancing their career. And we'll share that with you in a bit, but all right, so.
I will jump in, Eileen, and let me just go ahead and first of all say thank you, everybody. We've been getting all of your questions and comments into the chat, so we are saving them all for the very end. I know that we wish there was more time in the day. You know, an hour sort of breezes by with you, Eileen, and I truly mean that. So what I'll go ahead and I'll do is I'm going to share a brief 3-minute video explaining our Blushington Academy program. Speaking to what Eileen was just saying, we launched a digital online platform for aspiring artists and experienced artists too, to sort of build their expertise and fully launch their careers into the freelance field. So similar to our masterclass today, our participants go online with expert instructors discussing about product knowledge, expertise, application, beauty education, what it takes to become an artist and how to succeed and thrive in the business. So I'll go ahead, I'll play that short 3-minute video, and then immediately after we'll open up the floor to Q&A. So continue sending over all the comments in this chat box and we will address as many of them as possible. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen.
In just 25 hours at the Blushington Academy, you'll be ready to increase your earning potential and become your own beauty boss. Blushington Academy is valuable to self-taught makeup artists and for those that went to school and graduated. Blushington is an incredible place to advance your career.
The Blushington Academy is giving you all the industry secrets, tips, tricks that they know, and they are giving that to you in that 25-hour course. That's priceless.
What surprised me as a new makeup artist was all of the work that went on behind the scenes. The skills I learned at Blushington Academy would have come in handy 10 years ago when I first started my career.
Along with the Blushington Academy, you get your own Blushington kit. The kit is curated by their artists, so you get this amazing kit that you are going to use on every single client. Realistically, what you pay for the course, you're getting in the kit.
When I first saw the kit, I was like, wow.
It's rare to find a makeup academy that provides such luxurious products.
So to turn up our look, let's grab our eyeshadow palettes and look at the color choices that we have. I love this palette. The colors are so vibrant and so beautiful.
You are so overwhelmed with where do I start? Where do I begin? How do I get my name out there? Blushington is behind you and they are going to help you do that. You are a featured certified artist on their website. So if you're in Kansas City, Missouri, people can book you, brides can book you. Having a huge company like Blushington behind you, that is something that when you go to another school, you don't get.
Having a shop-in-shop at Blushington is going to be such a game changer. I'm always recommending wonderful products to my clients, and it's going to be so nice to be able to help them purchase products that I stand behind, and it's going to be nice for me because I'll be able to make a little extra income.
You educate your clients, you use the products on them, and they have an option to buy directly from you, from Blushington, so that way that's commission in your pocket. Why did no one else think of this? It's amazing.
The loneliness of the career can really get to you because you're essentially an entrepreneur building a one-person business. But with Blushington, I could create community and rely on them for encouragement and for business matters. I honestly feel that this course is an amazing value.
You'll have a lifetime access to a new group of makeup artists, so you'll always have someone in your corner supporting you and there to answer any questions that you may come across in your career. There are so many things that we have to learn the hard way, especially as freelance artists. Blushington Academy takes away some of the pains of growing.
If you are just starting or if you've been doing it for years like I have, you can never stop learning. If you are getting ready to sign up for the Academy, just know it is just the beginning of your career.
Thank you all for watching. Let me go ahead and just close the window before it starts playing the next video. Again, that is our Blushington Academy program. So if anybody were to have any inquiries regarding the program, always feel free to reach out to us at Blushington on Instagram. And then we also have our Academy Instagram as well, at Blushington Academy. Pretty simple. And now, with further ado, I have a good amount of Q&A here for us, Eileen. So let me go ahead. The very first one that came through was from Amber, and she asked, what eyeshadow looks best on hooded eyes? Also, how do you stop foundation from separating on your nose?
Okay, so the best eyeshadow maybe style is what you're asking for hooded eyes is usually I like a smoky eyes. So you want to build the product from the lower lid and then bring it up, because when you're looking up, you could do this beautiful makeup application, and then when you open your eyes, it's all gone, right? So the key is to look straight ahead when you're applying your makeup. Look in the mirror kind of with your eye open, which I know sounds a little bit weird, but that'll be really helpful in seeing what you're doing. So you kind of build up the darkness and then start to, as I have my eye open here, build the color up here so you can see what you're doing and the products that the colors that you applied, and I think that's the best tip for hooded eyes.
And then the dual question was, when you stop foundation separating from your nose, do you find that, does that typically happen with oily skin types?
So yeah, sorry, I missed that question. Yeah, typically I find that does happen with oily skin types. So a tip for that is to make sure that, again, you're applying an oil control moisturizer and also a primer, and then with that, just patting your makeup and setting it really well. You shouldn't have any issues as long as you're using the right skin products, the right prep for your skin.
We also had a question from Deanne. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But she asks, how do you contour a nose that has a wide bottom part? I hope that makes sense.
So typically, what I like to do is, if you don't want to contour this too much, if this is your concern, I apply the bronzer color here, and the main thing is just to blend it. So you're just kind of, the whole point is to make your nose look slim, right? So it's okay to bring the color here as long as it's a blended, and you can bring your contour or your highlight color to kind of create like the dimension and create the illusion of like a slim nose. So just, it's okay to bring the bronzer here, just blend it. And I hope that was helpful. I hope I'm answering that well. I can't help, but I keep seeing somebody raise her hand. Her name is Crystal DeHart, and I've been seeing you for a while. So is it okay if we jump to that question really quick?
Of course.
Hi, my name is Crystal. Oh my god, this is my dream come true. Like, you, my future artist, makeup artist someday, if I be famous or not. But I want to ask you which contour, like the nose part, which brush do you use actually? Because like Summersly, I tried to contour my nose Summersly, and it's like my sisters told me like, how you know contour and everything. I'm real embarrassed to ask that question because this is my first time contouring my nose.
Oh, you shouldn't be embarrassed. Makeup is fun, and makeup is just, I call it an accessory, right? So for women, and a lot of like we all have the luxury of playing with makeup. Women, guys, like it's amazing what we can do with makeup, and I think a lot of more men should be able to wear, you know, some makeup to cover up some of their little blemishes, and you know. But anyway, I could go on preaching about that.
Thank you so much, Eileen.
The main thing is with contouring the nose, you just need a little concealer brush, just a flat brush. It could be small, it could be this size, it could be a little bit smaller. Something that has just like a good, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like stiff, just so that you can be able to create your lines with it. And then also a blending brush. So it could be your eyeshadow brush, like it could be this one, or it could also...
I use this brush every time.
I can't see. Oh, that should work. Is that a hair?
Like, I use that almost all the time, but like every time I contour my nose, I messed up on it. So yeah.
It depends also on if you're using powders or creams. But yeah, so just something like this, and then just blending, and then that's it.
Thank you so much, because my birthday is like this month, so I was like, thank you for giving awesome tips.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have a very heavy contour Q&A, it seems, Eileen, and I firmly believe you are the master of contour, the goddess of contour. So this one comes from Francis. What are the best brushes to use for contouring?
Okay, so yeah, so back to that, it's basically all you need is a flat brush. You can use something like this, a foundation brush, as long as it's a synthetic brush, even though sometimes I also use like brush that's not synthetic, and it works too. There really is a technique, and maybe just having something this shape you want to apply, and I like to contour with cream products always, so it's really just having something like this is my favorite shape, because then it really gives me more control for applying my lines. Sometimes I just do a swoop, like a rainbow shape on my forehead, swoop here, down here, and then as long as you can have control on the nose to do two really like straight lines kind of thing, snatch the nose, and something to blend it with. And that can be something as small as this, and something even like this, if it's synthetic, and just to blend it. I also love using brushes like this to blend everything together. Sometimes I apply the contours first and then foundation. There's no right or wrong way. There's so many ways to do it. But typically I do apply my contours first and then blend it into my foundation. Hope that's helpful.
Now I have a couple mascara related questions. So how would you prevent upper lash mascara from ending up underneath your eye and looking smeared?
Oh, you might need to use a waterproof mascara. If you're getting underneath it, one thing is if your top mascara is running to the bottom, I'm understanding that's what maybe the problem is. So maybe your skin is oily, so when you close your eyes, it's kind of dragging the product down. So maybe switch over to a waterproof mascara. Waterproof mascara also works great to lift the lashes. So if you have really straight lashes, curl them. Waterproof typically works well to keep them up.
And that question was asked by Andrea. So Andrea, thank you. I was also wondering that for myself. We also have a question from Victoria, who says, my eyelashes are getting shorter and thinner as I get older. Should I continue to use an eyelash curler? I notice it doesn't help.
If it doesn't help and you don't need it, I wouldn't use it. My lashes have a natural type of curl to them. They're not super curly, but I don't ever have to curl my lashes really. So I would avoid using one if you don't have to use it. And also maybe consider using a lash serum to strengthen your lashes. And even you can use castor oil at night. I know it's a little bit uncomfortable because it's a little bit greasy, but that'll help strengthen your lashes as well.
We also had a question from Jennifer earlier in the demo when you pulled out the Ico mascara. She asked, is that mascara good for holding a curl? My lashes always go flat even after I use a lash curler heated up with my blow dryer.
I love that. You're so extra. I think this one has worked well for me. I know we all have different lashes and thickness, and so my lashes are really thin and short, but it holds them up. I don't have a problem though with my lashes going straight. I know that I don't even know that you have to do the whole blow dryer thing. I can't imagine that's really good for your lashes. I would imagine just curl and use a waterproof mascara. And also maybe just another thing I would suggest is if you're applying false lashes, you can put mascara on first, apply the false lashes, and then use your tweezers to pinch them together, and then the mascara will hold on to the strip lash and hopefully hold them up, as I've done with clients before and it worked well, so that might work for you too.
And then we have time for 2 more questions, and they're already here in the chat. Jackie wanted clarification on a step. So instead of putting the contouring powder directly over the contour cream, you recommend putting on the setting powder first, then putting on the contour powder.
Right. So I wouldn't recommend putting bronzer or contour powder directly on top. You can if you're careful and you're pressing it in, but that could cause a little bit of blotchiness. It could cause the color to change depending on the bronzer that you're using, the powder. So I don't suggest that. I like to really just have everything set first with a translucent powder. That way anything else that you put on top, which if it's highlighter, bronzer, blush, everything's just kind of gonna glide on much easier. So if you're going for a really dewy look and you want your skin to look dewy, then with some bronzers, you can pull that off. You just have to kind of stipple it on and kind of blend it in. I've done that before to achieve a more glossy, glowy look. So it can be done. It's just a little bit trickier.
I mean, I'm speaking to your point. Makeup is fun, but there's definitely a method to it, and it's always interesting trying to find out what works for you. And I think with all the different skin types out there, sometimes it is a longer journey for some more than others. But sort of speaking to Eileen and her expertise before we get to this last question, everything that was plugged in the chat is Eileen approved. You know, we had extensive conversations about what products to use, how to achieve the best summer glow. So by all means, feel free to check on the links in the chat. Eileen has her own online beauty boutique with Blushington. You can explore other artists as well. As you'll see, our community is growing more and more by the day. But just to sort of reiterate, we will also be sending out a post-class email to everybody within 24 hours with our exclusive code offer, which is Eileen10. So I will put that in the chat, but that is 10% off Academy tuition and also off all of the products that you used here today as well. So now getting to our last question of the evening, Erin asked, any great moisturizer for redness?
Yes, there are several products for that. Also, so I can suggest a few things. There are redness reducer products out there, but also you can find this one on the Blushington, and this is a CC Correct. This is amazing. I have a lot of redness in my skin, and I should have shown you guys this today, and I just kind of started moving along, but I applied this to all of my areas where I tend to get really red, and it really just corrects it. So it's amazing. If redness is an issue for you, you might want to consider getting one of these.
I can personally speak to Arborian too, where sometimes those tubes feel like magic, right? Like you'll apply the CC cream and it'll adapt to your skin tone. But that's for another class for a future day. But I mean, I guess I never liked this part, but it's the saying goodbye part. So
I want to say thank you so much to all of you who tuned in, all of you who are still here, those of you who attempted to do your makeup along with me. That's so awesome. It made me so happy to see that. And I'm so honored to be here that all of you guys signed up for this to watch me do makeup and teach you. Like, it makes me so happy. And thank you all so much for being here. For all of you who are here, who are always supporting me, I appreciate you guys, and I see you. Love you guys. Thank you so much. And I hope that I can do this again with you guys. I love Blushington. Has been such an amazing company, and I hope that you guys get to experience. If you're interested in being a makeup artist, I attest to them. They are amazing. I love that they have even just the shop and shop. Like, that's amazing for new makeup artists. It's an extra way to make income. Like, we're teaching people all the time. Like, we're doing makeup on people and they want to know everything we're using. They want to buy it. And now you can refer them to Blushington, and you can get a little bit of, you know, some income from that, from just them buying something that they were going to buy anyway. And they're supporting you, they're artists. So that is amazing. Aside from that, you're getting exposure. And as you can see, they are amazing. Joe, you are such a wonderful person, and I love you, and thank you for making this easy for me. And I'm so happy to see all of these beautiful faces on here. So many beautiful faces.
And something that we do in the Academy too, in the Academy program, is snaps to everybody for following along. Clapping is a little bit too aggressive, but just to echo what Eileen said, it's been such a pleasure. Again, everybody will get a post-class email, but snaps to Eileen all around for your expertise, for your kind nature, and it's just amazing. Everybody, please be sure to follow Eileen at Honeybee Eileen on Instagram. Her content is top tier, and as you'll see, she is just so divine and so pleasant. So thank you again, Eileen. It is a true honor to have you here on our platform.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here, and I really appreciate all of you watching and still watching and sticking it all. I hope that this was so helpful. I hope that you guys learned something new today, and I hope to see you all again and do this with you all again soon.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.